Hello and welcome to Inside Humphreys County. I'm Daryl Mosley. I'm the Executive Director of the Humphreys County Chamber of Commerce, and I feel just a tiny bit out of place today because I am surrounded by some wonderful ladies and some beautiful quilts, and I'm completely a novice at this. So I'm going to learn some, and I'm sure you are too. I have Miss Margaret Lucas, Miss Kim Emery here with us today, and we're going to talk about we have a quilt show coming up. But first of all, tell me a little bit about what's going on around here.
Well, this is one of our regular sewing days, and we meet here in Waverly every third Friday to sew on quilt tops. So these ladies are taking fabric that's already been cut in a kit, and they're sewing the pieces together to make the quilt tops. And after this, they're sent to somebody who will put the top and the backing together to put the quilt together.
Wow. And this happens every week here?
Every third Friday.
Every third Friday, okay.
And then we have a group in Dixon every fourth Tuesday that does the same thing.
Wow.
It's part of WOWY.
It's a big group. I mean, and there's a lot of activity going on. Obviously, a lot of expertise here. It's very impressive. But we're mainly here today to talk about, you have the quilt show that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. And I know Ms. Kim and I have talked about this earlier, but that comes up 1st of November, I believe it is?
It's the 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th of November.
Friday and Saturday. It's a 2-day show this year.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about that. That actually, of course, it's here in Waverly.
It's here at the Methodist Church on Main Street. And on Friday, we're here from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday. And then Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
And,
now, these are quilts that you have made or other people have made? Or
other people have made, and we have made. The quilt show is open to anybody that wants to enter their quilt. There is no restriction. You don't have to be a member of the group or from Humphreys County even. It can be anybody in the state or in surrounding states. We have different categories. We have a youth category. We really like to get young quilters out there and started, so we have a special category just for them. We have a category of quilted clothing and quilted accessories like purses and handbags and other things that aren't necessarily bed quilts. And then we have small quilts, which are like wall hanging size or lap quilt size. And then we have the full size quilts. So there are 4 categories.
And you don't have to have made the quilt yourself. So, Daryl, you can enter a quilt that might be in your family and showcase somebody else's work.
Well, that's an interesting idea, because my experience with quilts have mostly been quilts that have been passed down,
Right.
that were made by a grandmother or great-grandmother and that sort of thing. So there's a long heritage, a long history of quilt making, especially, I guess, in the South. And it makes me feel good to know that it's still being kept alive by folks like y'all. Now, has this been your quilt show? Is this you've done this for a number of years?
It's our third one.
Third one. Okay.
And it's our second year to have added our boutique. And everything in our boutique is donated. It's made from fabric, all things fabric. And the ladies make whatever they're interested in and donate whatever they want. So we sell a lot of things. People come in looking for Christmas presents or birthday presents, something for themselves. We have quilted clothing. We have table runners. We have toys, purses, market bags, just a wide variety of items in the boutique. Yeah, it's kind of fun. And it's a lot of fun the day we get together to price it because we kind of want half of it. Very nice items, very well made.
Well, I'm sure that's true. This is neat. Now, this happens, I guess you said it's the 3rd annual. So, there's maybe it's just because I've been around more this year because of becoming a part of the chamber, but there seems to be a lot of excitement about it this year. A lot more about it. And I know you and I talked a little bit last night. You mentioned something about requesting the local businesses to put quilts in their window and to display quilts to kind of remind people that this is coming up.
That's right. Yes, we try to have our year at the same time the merchants have their open house and holiday sale, because we feel that the quilt show brings in a lot of people who wouldn't normally come into Waverly. They come in for the show, and we'd like them also to enjoy what the town has going on. So it's a win-win for both of us, for the merchants and for the quilt show, to have all these people coming in. We benefit. Our show is a fundraiser for us, and once they're done looking at all the pretty quilts, they like to walk around town and have lunch and do some shopping and see what Waverly's all about. And last year we brought 150 people in from outside the county just for one day, and they really enjoyed Waverly. They just love downtown and the shopping and the restaurants. And I've already been asked by people that came last year, is that little restaurant open at such and such location? I said, yeah, they're still there. So good, we're going to be there. We're coming and we're going to eat. And we're going to shop and we're going to have a great time like we did last year. So we're trying to provide more than just the quilt show for people that come, that they would have more to do than just see the quilts. We hope that they'll spend a lot of time with us and buy from our boutique because it is our fundraiser, but we wanted to also involve the town as much as possible and let them also benefit from all the people coming in for the show.
And I do want to emphasize, too, that the reason we do this is to provide quilts for cancer patients who receive their first chemo treatment at Sarah Cannon Cancer Treatment Center in Dixon. And that's our driving force. That keeps us going because cancer touches almost every family these days. And some of us here are cancer survivors. And that's our main goal. That's what we work toward, even though we have a lot of fun getting there. And then, starting this year, we've been able to donate quilts to the Dixon Dialysis Center and then the Waverly Dialysis Center that opened just a couple of months ago. So we have the kind of inventory that we're able to do that and help some other folks.
Wow. Providing physical and emotional comfort.
Yes, absolutely. And all of our proceeds from our fundraiser goes toward fabric that makes quilts, and we're proud to be able to say that.
Wow. Well, I mean, obviously, that's what a wonderful cause and requires so much dedication and so much hard work on behalf of these wonderful ladies here. Now, most of you that are here, is it typically the same group every month that shows up?
We have about 25 on our roll, but basically about the same ones come and go every month.
Wow.
So and we've really kind of formed a ring of friendship.
I bet.
We really have.
Well, I mean, you're here for the same, reason. You have the same love for doing this and the same calling to help the patients that are, that are the recipients of these wonderful quilts. And well, that's amazing.
Well, and I think of Kim as the engine that keeps the WowWee train on track. Being our chairperson of WowWee, she's done a lot of work, as you will know, in coordinating a lot of different groups for this weekend. So she's done a lot of legwork.
Yeah, well, obviously something like this is such a great, it's a huge undertaking. People who just show up and enjoy it don't realize how much behind the scenes work is involved, and it's months and months and months of preparation, I'm sure.
Well, and our work to me is kind of like putting the quilt together. Each one of us has a different skill and a different strength, and we have people that some of the ladies will set up the quilts, some work in the boutique, some work in the donation table, and it's kind of like everybody has a piece of the puzzle or a square to the quilts, so that when the quilt show is finished, everybody's had a part in that.
Now, are you still taking entries if somebody has a quilt and they'd like to enter? Is it too late to do that, or can they still do that?
Oh yes, they can still enter quilts. We would like the quilts entered, the applications in by the 30th of this month. That way we can get them listed in our program book. And they can drop them off here at the church on Thursday, the 8th. I mean the 6th. The 6th.
November 6th.
Thursday the 6th is the drop-off day for the quilts, but the entry forms need to be in by the 30th.
Okay, now these are the entry forms that I know I have some at the chamber, or did have.
Yes.
So yeah.
And they're on our Facebook page. You can go to the WowWee Facebook page, which is facebook.com/WOWE2012.
Okay.
And that has all the forms on it and the information about the show and contact information. So.
Great. Well, that's wonderful. Well, I'm excited about it. I know it's so we've been preparing for it and talking about it, and I got to tell you, I'm a quilt guy. I never cared for blankets. I'm a quilt guy, and it's funny because you mentioned that you can encourage younger people to get involved in this. Is it something that someone would have to have sewing skills to be a part of this, or is it something that they can pick up on fairly quickly?
We find that people can pick up on it fairly quickly. It's fairly simple sewing, and it's just learning to use the machine. And we have extra machines here, so if anybody's interested in learning how to quilt and learning how to sew, they're welcome to come to a WowWee meeting, and we'll help them learn how to use the machine and sew a kit. Everything's pre-cut, so it's kind of simple to do. Most of us that have experience are able to get a quilt top done in one setting.
Wow.
In the amount of time that we're here in one day, we can get a quilt top done.
Well, that's wonderful. And what a wonderful cause. And thank you all so much for this. I mean, I'm sure that there are recipients of your quilts that I have no idea how many hands have touched it up to the point that they receive it, and that's amazing. And what a wonderful gesture. So I'm excited. Is there anything else we've left out that we need to make sure that everybody knows about?
We just want to invite everybody to come by and enjoy the quilts. You don't have to be a seamstress. You don't have to do quilting, but a lot of people appreciate quilts, even though they don't know how they go together. So we invite everybody to come out, and
It's a
now
free
that
show.
you know that you can enter a quilt, you can go home and find some.
Boy, I gotta look for something.
Yeah, but it is a free show. There is
Free,
no entry
yes.
fee to come. It's free and open to the public. We welcome everyone to come and see the quilts and see downtown Waverly and just enjoy the weekend.
Yes.
We also have a show going on at the same time as ours at the State Park in Johnsonville. We've kind of partnered with them during their 150th celebration to set up a quilt show there, and they have, I think it's 7 quilts that are Civil War reproduction quilts.
Wow.
That have been done that are just gorgeous, and it's in the Welcome Center. So while you're looking at quilts, take a ride to Jayville and look at the quilts there.
It's gonna be a good weekend.
It
Very
is.
good weekend.
A lot to do here. So.
It will be. It'll be really wonderful, and we hope each year that it grows and we get more and more involvement from the community, and we have a bigger and bigger show.
Great. Well, that sounds wonderful. Well, thank you for allowing me to invade your space today. And I will stop impeding the progress here. But we're here with the White Oak Women's Exchange, preparing for the big quilt show coming up in a couple of weeks. And nice to have them here, and nice to have you here today on Inside Humphreys County. We'll see you next week.